Welcome to LFC Transfer HQ, your ultimate source for all things Liverpool FC transfers. Like and subscribe for more football updates. Our first news is Liverpool plan to accelerate move to sign available, world-class player in January. Liverpool are seeking to turn around their dismal recent form after picking up another 3 points from their latest Champions League clash. Arne Slot's side beat Eintracht Frankfurt 5-1 on October 22, but concerns about their recent form have lingered, with 4 straight defeats prior to their big win. Crystal Palace, Galatasaray, Chelsea and Man United all took victories against the Reds, and questions have been asked of their key players as a result. Slot's defensive unit has come in for particular scrutiny, with questions asked about Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate's performances during their poor run. Liverpool have failed to keep a clean sheet in any of their last 8 games, and have kept just 2 across their 13 fixtures in all competitions, forcing them to search for reinforcements. Liverpool set sights on renewing Guehi deal. Football Insider revealed on October 10 that Liverpool are confident of signing Guehi despite rival interest from the likes of Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. The Reds have now been back to make a fresh move for the centre-back in January, having missed out despite reaching an agreement with Palace on deadline day. That is according to former Man United and Blackburn chief scout Mick Brown, who remains very well connected within the game, as he exclusively told Football Insider that Guehi remains the outstanding candidate to strengthen at the back. Van Dijk has been out of form, and they're still not completely sure about Konate's future. There's obviously been a hell of a lot of talk about Guehi. They missed out in the summer and now there's all sorts of clubs having a look at him. At first, it seemed like a certainty that he would go to Liverpool in January, but that doesn't seem to be the case at the moment because he's got these other options. It's no surprise that the likes of Real Madrid are in for him now. He's England's starting centre-back and he's going to be available for free, but I've always felt Liverpool could try to get it done in January even if it isn't a certainty anymore. He is by far the best option out there at the moment, and he'll be available for £35 million or less, which is a bargain fee for a defender of that quality. When you consider the difficulties they've had in defense lately, I expect they'll be even more determined to get that deal done as soon as possible. Guehi remains one of the most highly rated defenders in the Premier League, with his England teammate Ezri Konsa labeling him world-class a year ago. BBC. Stay tuned for all the latest Liverpool and Premier League transfer news, updates, and expert reactions. Our second news is exclusive. Liverpool turn attention to signing 2 Premier League stars to replace Mohamed Salah. Liverpool are keeping tabs on Antoine Semenyo and Anthony Gordon as they plot yet another mega-money forward signing, sources have told Football Insider. The Reds have an interest in both the wide forwards, who are impressing for Bournemouth and Newcastle United respectively, this season. Sources say that Semenyo and Gordon are highly rated by Liverpool's recruitment team, who are impressed by the penetration they offer to their clubs as well as their ability to play in multiple positions across the front line. This comes amid doubts over Mohamed Salah's future at Liverpool going into the January transfer window. Antoine Semenyo and Anthony Gordon thriving. Semenyo has been one of the standout players in the Premier League this season, with Bournemouth flying under Andoni Iraola. The Ghanaian international has scored 6 league goals already this term, as well as picking up 3 assists for the Cherries. Gordon is yet to find the back of the net in the Premier League for Eddie Howe's side, but has thrived in Europe. The 24-year-old has scored 4 goals in 3 Champions League games for the Magpies, most recently grabbing a brace as Newcastle beat Benfica 3-0. Liverpool look elsewhere with Mohamed Salah in poor form. Matt Le Tissier exclusively told Football Insider that Salah has not been playing well enough to justify starting every Premier League game. The Egyptian international was relegated to the bench for Liverpool's 5-1 win over Frankfurt in the Champions League. It remains to be seen whether Arne Slot will reinstate Salah to the starting lineup for the Reds' upcoming Premier League clash with Brentford. The 33-year-old hasn't found the net in his last 6 appearances for Liverpool, which is a worrying run for someone who is normally so prolific in front of goal. I expect some serious movement in January. Liverpool transfer update from top source. Liverpool have been forced to tear up their plans for the January transfer window in order to address their defensive issues. Arne Slot's side have lost 3 games in a row in the Premier League and are now 4 points adrift of table-topping Arsenal. On Wednesday, October 24, Liverpool got back to winning ways against Frankfurt, beating the German side 5-1 in the Champions League. However, the Reds will still be desperate to end their poor run of form domestically when they travel to Brentford this weekend. Liverpool have best defender in the Bundesliga on January shortlist. Liverpool have been linked with Borussia Dortmund centre-back Nico Schlotterbeck, but it is yet to be seen whether they will make a move for the defender. Everton's former chief Keith Wyness, who served as CEO at Goodison Park between 2004 and 2009 and now runs a football consultancy advising elite clubs. Stay tuned for all the latest Liverpool and Premier League transfer news, updates. Our third news is Liverpool could sign another, phenomenal, England international with Guehi. Liverpool are now seen as a genuine destination for a phenomenal player who will be hoping to shine at next summer's World Cup. Injury concerns for Liverpool before Brentford clash. The Reds may have returned to winning ways at Eintracht Frankfurt in midweek, but they have to show that it wasn't just a flash in the pan against weak opposition. Liverpool make the trip to Brentford in the Premier League on Saturday night, which has the potential to be a huge test, and the champions will have to make do without some influential players. Alisson is still missing in goal, with his world-class presence a big loss, while Jeremy Frimpong is also definitely out after injuring his hamstring in Frankfurt. Ryan Gravenberch and Alexander Isak are also unlikely to be available for Liverpool's trip to West London, so picking up all 3 points away to a Brentford team with 2 wins in their last 3 matches won't be easy. The Reds will continue to eye new signings, with a move for Mark Guehi expected to be on the agenda again, but he is not the only England international on the shopping list. Liverpool a viable destination for England's star. Speaking to Team Talk, insider Dean Jones said Liverpool are now a possible destination for Nottingham Forest midfielder Elliot Anderson. I don't think Anderson would close the door on returning to Newcastle, and there is no issue around that specifically, but the thing that makes me question how likely it is regards the other options he is going to have. At the moment Man United, Liverpool and Man City all seem possible destinations for him, and when those sorts of doors open up, is he going to go back to somewhere he has already played? As a player you surely always want to feel a sense of progression, so Newcastle are going to have to be in a very strong position if they are to enter a battle to sign him and then win it. I have to say I don't think the Man United move is quite as nailed on as some people seem to make out. While he is on their list, I get the impression there are still some reservations about whether he is the ideal fit as a midfield partner for Bruno Fernandes. That's something they continue to explore. The £40,000 a week Anderson is enjoying the best spell of his career, becoming a regular starter for England at the base of the midfield alongside Declan Rice. The 22-year-old is playing with such poise in front of the defence, but also showcasing an ability to get forward, with England teammate Reece James recently calling him a phenomenal player. While Liverpool aren't short of top-quality midfield options, Wataru Endo could depart next year and Anderson would be a strong option, especially if he continues on his current trajectory. Stay tuned for all the latest Liverpool and Premier League transfer news, updates, and expert reactions. Our fourth news is Kenny Dalglish says he's very confident he knows what will happen with Liverpool's new signings. Kenny Dalglish believes that every single one of Liverpool's new signings has something to offer Arne Slot this season. Liverpool spent a hefty chunk of change in the summer transfer window, with over £400 million being spent on new recruits, and, while some, such as Hugo Ekitike, have hit the ground running, most of their new additions have failed to live up to the standards expected of them. However, this hasn't stopped King Kenny from saying that he thinks every one of the Red summer transfers will come good at one point or another. Kenny Dalglish says that the fans' support will be what helps Liverpool's new signings come good. Going into the 2025-26 season, most people expected Liverpool to be impossible to beat with how much talent the club had added to their ranks. Players such as Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz were expected to completely transform the way that Liverpool play, but in reality, this has been far from the case. It's not like Slot hasn't tried to get the best out of them either, as he's tried most of his new players in several different positions. Despite all of this, Dalglish still thinks that the Reds' new signings will come good, even if it does take them a little while to get used to being Liverpool players. Listen, all the boys will take varying amounts of time to settle down, but every one of them have something that they can offer Liverpool Football Club, he said on TalkSport. They will do that, I'm sure they will do it, I'm very confident they will do it. Maybe not every single one of them, but the vast majority of them. They'll get fantastic support from the people that come to watch, which is really encouraging as well. We'll keep our fingers crossed and wish them all the best. Liverpool must build upon their 5-1 win via Eintracht Frankfurt if they want to get back to their best. Aside from Wednesday's 5-1 win against Eintracht Frankfurt in the Champions League, it's been a rough old month to be a Liverpool supporter. In fact, things got so bad that Slot's men were even beaten by Manchester United at Anfield, which is something that hasn't happened for the last 9 years. However, now that they've netted 5 against a decent opposition, it should give them a boost of confidence and potentially allow them to build upon it. Indeed, Wednesday's tie didn't include Mohamed Salah until the last 20 minutes or so of the game, but the fact that this allowed Wirtz to thrive and put in his best Liverpool performance yet shows that experiments need to be undertaken. Slot's free-flowing 4-4-2 formation feels like the best way for the Dutchman to get the best out of his first-team squad, with their next game set to come against Brentford on Sunday evening. It'll be a good time to test whether that was just a one-off performance or not. Stay tuned for all the latest Liverpool and Premier League transfer. Our fifth news is Liverpool set for crunch contract talks with Ibrahima Konate as soft deadline is set. Liverpool are set for key talks with Ibrahima Konate over a contract extension during the November international break, rousing the cop understands. Konate's deal will expire at the end of the current season, with the Frenchman free to sign a pre-agreement with clubs in Europe from January onwards. Liverpool have been speaking with Konate's camp over an extension for much of the past year. Although RTK understands talks have remained deadlocked for some months, the Reds had hoped to finally come to an arrangement with the centre-back during the October pause in play, but sources have told RTK that things did not progress during that time. Instead, Liverpool and Konate's representatives are ready to return to the table in November, with a mutual understanding that it may be a final roll of the dice. Liverpool still hopeful of Ibrahima Konate extension. Konate has been heavily linked with a move to Real Madrid, and RTK understands that the Spanish giants will be in the mix should he leave Anfield in 2026. However, Konate's exit is not seen as an inevitability at Liverpool, with senior figures still believing he could yet sign new terms. There is an appreciation that things need to progress soon, though, and RTK has been told that the November talks are being viewed as a soft deadline for Konate. Should a breakthrough fail to be made once again, Liverpool are likely to begin accepting that the France international will leave on a free transfer. For the time being, RTK has been told that insiders at Anfield are currently not leaning one way or another, with all options remaining on the table. The predicament is seen as being different to that of Trent Alexander-Arnold last season, when the former right-back was set on a move to Real Madrid. Konate's situation is being viewed as one that could still change, but there is belief rather than confidence that a deal can be struck. Liverpool assessing centre-back market. Regardless of what eventually happens with Konate, RTK understands that Liverpool are ready to sign at least one new centre-back in 2026. A deal for Mark Guehi remains possible, and could even be moved forward to January if the Reds feel there is a need to reinforce mid-season. However, Guehi is far from being the only player on Liverpool's radar. Should Konate leave, they are likely to bring in two new faces. The likes of Mario and Jared Branthwaite could still come into the equation, with Liverpool fully aware of which players are likely to be available in 2026. Micah Richards shares what he would have done to Jamie Carragher if Liverpool lost to Frankfurt. Micah Richards was going to wear a shirt to mock Jamie Carragher if Liverpool were beaten by Eintracht Frankfurt on Wednesday. Stay tuned for all the latest Liverpool and Premier League transfer news, updates, and expert reactions. Our last news is I told Liverpool to sign this player. They could have saved £50 million and had a fan's favourite if they'd listened. Liverpool spent big on two strikers in the summer, but they could have saved a fortune if they had signed Nick Woltmade. Liverpool have yet to hit top gear so far this season. Although the win over Eintracht Frankfurt will be a source of encouragement, Arne Slot took the brave decision to drop Mohamed Salah, and it was one that paid off. even if the contribution of Alexander Isak wouldn't have been hard to replace. It is looking increasingly likely that the strongest forward line is one that features Cody Gakpo, Salah, and the increasingly impressive Hugo Ekitike, who put his strike partner in the shade. Liverpool seemed certain to just sign Isak in the summer and, after an initial bid was rejected by Newcastle United, it was a shock to see Richard Hughes move swiftly for Ekitike. With Arsenal and Man United both looking for a striker, the Reds did well to land a player who is already tracking the early data of Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappe. There was another name doing the rounds though. Loosely linked with Liverpool in terms of being a player on the recruitment team's radar, Nick Woltmade seemed destined to join Bayern Munich after reports suggested that he had agreed personal terms with the Bundesliga champions. Stuttgart played hardball, which left time and room for Newcastle to pounce. At 6 feet 6 inches tall and with a shock of blonde hair, it is impossible to miss the 23-year-old striker, and his versatility could have fit perfectly into a system alongside Ekitike either through the middle or on either flank. For £69 million, he was an incredible £55 million cheaper than Isak. So far, it is the Magpies who are getting value for money. With 5 goals in 9 appearances, 600 minutes give or take, Woltmade has hit the ground running, but his game has been so much more than just goals, and Liverpool World's prediction that he would be an Anfield star is already looking like it has come true. All the way back in July, we wrote, looking at the forward line first, the gold standard would be to persuade Stuttgart to part with Nick Woltmade for less than their current £65 million valuation and for something in the region of £50 million. Instead, throw in an add-on or two and the Bundesliga outfit might be happy. What Woltmade would do is give Slot a number 9 or someone who can play off the left or right-hand side of the attack. Woltmade might be some 6 feet 5 inches tall, but his Messi-like dribbling ability makes him a real threat in the channels and at number 10. For Newcastle, Woltmade has become an instant talisman and focal point of the attack. Even when he doesn't score or get on the end of chances, he is still causing opposition defenses problems and bringing others into play. Using DataMB's comparison model, the only metric that Ekitike outshines the Germany international on is expected assists. Isak hasn't played enough minutes to be compared. Thanks for watching. That's all for today's transfer update. But the transfer window never sleeps, and neither do we. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the latest Liverpool FC transfer news, rumors, and confirmed deals. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update, because at LFC Transfer HQ, you'll never walk alone.